So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my shop. Today we got us a big reveal going on. So stay tuned and let me show you what I've done. Alright, welcome. Alright, there's been some major changes going on around the shop here, and I'm going to bring you up to date. If you're new to the channel, or if you haven't seen any of my latest vlogs, I want to bring you up to the point where I have sold the 49 GMC truck. I got it where I felt good about it, that it was mechanically sound, and well, I just decided I didn't need two 49 pickup trucks. This 49 Chevy is kind of like a family heirloom. It's been in the family since new, so this getting gone was not an option. The GMC, on the other hand, well, I got it mechanically sound, running good, and well, I started to get this feel that I just wanted to do some trade. So in a previous vlog, I put in that I wanted to trade for a 30s through 70s convertible car. Any make, any model, but it had to be 30s through 70s. I didn't get any takers. I did get some I was interested in, but they didn't want to trade. They wanted cash. So I had to end up selling the GMC for cash. And I was happy with it. The new buyers were happy with it. So that was a good deal. So now I have made a decision on what I'm replacing it with. So I guess it's about time to do the big reveal. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, here it is. That's a 1975 Corvette Stingray, and it's considered a C3, which means it's the third generation. And from my limited knowledge on bets, I'm learning as I go, the C3 actually came in 3 flavors. The first flavor was steel bumpers, which I would have probably preferred. And then you've got the, you know, they came out with these crash-proof, not crash-proof, 5 mile an hour impacting muffler bumpers. And so that's what this is. And this version being 75, I think it ran all the way sometime to the early 80s before they went to what they call the C4s. And I think there was 3 body styles of this. You see, that has the windows right there, right behind the seats. I think they had a fastback. Maybe it was later in 76 or 77 when they did that. And then they had the full convertible, which I couldn't find. So this T-top is kind of close to what I was looking for, and I'll show you some more. Come with a clear or it's a tinted full piece roof. And I'm going to guess that's for wintertime. I've got it out of its protective cover. And I'm going to guess, like I said, it's for wintertime or colder weather when you, or maybe very hot weather when you're going to run either your heat a lot or you're going to run the air conditioner a lot. This did come with an air conditioner. I'm just going to lay it on there so you can kind of see. I'm not going to secure it on there, but it sits up there, clamps in a couple places. There's a hardware kit that comes with it, and it's actually not too bad. Remember now, it's not secured all the way down, but it's and you can see through it. It's highly tinted, so they call that the hard top, or there's another word they use for it, and I'll either post it on there or do something. But anyway, I call it the hard top. And since it's a T-top, it has the separate hatches to go on it, like so, and they clamp down on both sides. I've got the clamp closed, but they clamp down on both sides. And I think, I'm not sure, but they also come with protective covers I've got laying over there. I think you can put them in this very limited back storage area, which I'll show you, and that way you can carry them around with them, so just in case you get caught out in the rain, you can slap them on. So anyway. Alright, so the primary specific, I'm sure most everybody's interested in. What power plant's in this thing? Yeah, let me see if I can remember how to pop the hood. I understand these pull cables can be a problem and that you better know a secondary way to pop these hoods, so I'm keeping that in mind. And here she is, folks. Another 350 small block Chevrolet V8 engine. It's the L48 option that came in this year's. I can't remember what the other one was, an L88 maybe. But this was the lower powered 350 that came in it. They had two. And the power rating for this V8 is embarrassing even to say. But I believe from what I've read, stock, this engine put out a whopping 165 horsepower at the brakes. So that means it was probably the 200 and maybe 50 or 55 horsepower engine that was smogged down, and to make that 165 at the brakes. It may have probably made at least 200 before. And I think they lowered the compression and they put some vacuum control things in it. So, you know, it's got some, that's not the original, that's not the stock air cleaner. It should have been a snorkel air cleaner with the preheater tube coming up to it. And some other vacuum controls to open and close the flap to allow hot air to get into it, to warm it up. Then the flap would open due to a thermostat in the air cleaner and let cool outside air into it. It's this particular car, I don't know, again, I don't know all the specifics of other years, but this particular car has discs on all four wheels, so there's no proportion involved, I don't think. Now I'm going to jack this thing up and get underneath it soon, because one of the problems with this car is the brakes. The brake light comes on and the pedal goes almost to the floor. Previous owner seems to think it's the master cylinder, which it could be, but I'm going to put it up in the air and I'm going to test everything and look at those soft lines. They may need replaced. Looks like it's got the thermostatically controlled clutch fan, which is pretty good. That was high tech back in the day, and if it still works, I don't see replacing it. Right here is the air conditioning lines. You'll notice that the compressor is not installed. I have it over, that did come with the car, and I have it over there on the bench. I think I know what the problem is, or at least one. It sounds like the bearings in the clutch is bad. So because you turn it, you can hear rough. It's just rough and it feels rough. Hopefully that's all it is. So I do intend on putting the air conditioning back in. Now, one thing that kind of bothers me, this hole, which I can't tell if it's plugged or not. I'm going to pull that out. But that should be where a tube would come and go into the air cleaner, so it can pull clean, fresh air into the engine and then be pulled out by the PCV valve here on the other side to be reburnt. If that's solid like I think it is, because of the way I feel around, this engine is not breathing good. And what happens is if an engine's not breathing good internally, it's going to start blowing oil out of all the dadgum seals and gasket surface, locations that it can find, because it's got to relieve the internal pressure. That PCV is going to suck it in, but where's it going to, it's going to suck it out, but where's it going to draw the fresh air in? I don't know. So we're going to see. The wipers do work, but the washers don't. Here's the washer. That's the overflow. Where was that washer? There it is, right over there. All right, there's the washer overflow. And another kind of fun thing about this particular car is it utilizes vacuum to do a whole lot of the work, as opposed to electronics that are in the more modern cars. All right. I guess I'll go ahead and move on from the engine. I think it's supposed to be a turbo 400 3-speed automatic. The previous owner seems to think it's a turbo 350, and all the literature I've found says it's a 400. So I'll know more when I get this thing up in the air. So anyway, well, one other thing. This area right here is actually considered to be a plenum. Got some kind of, I don't know if that screen there is factory or if that was added by a previous owner. But, and you see this air intake vent, that's where your vent air is sucked in and into the engine compartment, into the passenger compartment. What I understand is, you see this rubber seal, which is intact and good and flexible. If that goes bad or is missing, what happens is hot engine air can just get into this, and then it in turn will cook you inside the car. So I think that seems to be a good thing. This was a Southern car. I know of the previous 3 owners, and well, I don't know them personally, but I know of them, and they're all local down here. So I got numbers on here. It's possible I could trace more of it. They get really in depth with these vet people. They really get in depth. No offense, vet people, if you're watching. All right, before I go to the interior, since we're standing here looking at the nose, there, look at that. This is what devalued the car to the point where I would go for it at the price, because I told the guy who had it before that, I mean, that is practically ruined this car. Now, the story goes, that is some kind of, it's not an undercoating paint, but it's not a stock, it's a paint. It's almost like that waterproof paint that guy advertises on TV. I can't think of the name of it, but it's thicker. And he went around. Now, the car has been repainted, and apparently it's bubbled and chipped in these places. And the guy's dad thought he was doing him a favor by going around and touching it up with this black paint, and it's everywhere. It's all over this poor car. And he's even got back here on the deck. And man, it's just, I mean, otherwise the body's in great shape if it wasn't for what he's done to this dad with that black crud stuff. And I'm going to attempt to remove it first. See, up here on the hood, I'm going to attempt to remove it and clean it up. Hopefully I can remove it. And then I've got a close match of touch-up paint that I hope would work right here. And it's a, what is it called? I forgot. It's on here somewhere. It's some odd name. Here we go. Well, anyway, it's real close. Real close. So it may be close enough. If not, if I can get that crud off, I may just go with primer for now. Because my primary goal is to get this thing roadable and cruisable even without the air conditioning at this time, because you know we're getting towards the end of summer anyway. The winter project will be possibly getting the air conditioning going. Anyway, so that's on the body. You can see the bad parts, and that's what really dropped the price down to the realm that I would consider it. The engine starts and runs great. Matter of fact, I'll start it up here. Has a slight smoke at cold startup, and I think a problem with these small blocks is the valves, especially if they sit a lot. There's rubber valve seals on the valves, and they can harden and crack, and it allows a little too much oil to get down through the valves into the cylinders like overnight. So in that first cold startup, you know, it's going to burn that oil out, and then it runs great. There's no problem because they'll expand with the heat and they'll seal better. And that's an easy fix somewhat. I remember I did turn a wrench for a living at one time, and I remember doing that. But other than that, the engine's mechanically sound. It drives good. I did take it out on the road. That's when I discovered the brake problem. And I ran him good and hard. And it does have headers. Okay, so they've swapped out the headers. And from the headers back is all brand new stainless steel exhaust. So the exhaust is good. The tires are practically brand new all the way around. They're Michelin's. And so somebody, you know, has put some time and effort into the thing, but it's, you know, it's aged, and it's really dirty right now. I should have cleaned it. The interior, he went crazy with something. Now I'm talking about this guy's dad, and he made something bad worse. You know, I don't know, but that's some kind of crazy glue or something. And he got it over there on the passenger side. And he also butchered the dash to put that aftermarket dadgum radio in. So, I mean, man, the guy just went, if he would have left stuff alone, it would have, well, anyway. This should have a spring in it to pop it all the way back up. The reason why I know that is because the passenger side comes all the way up. So that's something I'll look at. When I open and close this door, this solid. Passenger side, you hear the window rattling some. Something going on here. So we'll get down inside the interior, which with the top off isn't bad. All the gauges appear to work, except for the clock doesn't seem to work. And the gas gauge all shows full. Now I asked the guy, I said, now, you got a full tank of gas in here? And he said he does. And when that is still showing full. A good thing about this car is the owner's manual came with it, and it states in there that it might not necessarily move from full once you turn the key off. So I don't know. I'm just going to have to check that. And where the gas tank is, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's back here in the back, and it might be a big old pain to get to. But anyway, here's the shifter. Here's where it says L48, 350, 8.5 to 1. The higher horsepower engine had the 9 to 1 compression, so it had different heads. Back in the day, there was your cigarette smoke. Now here's your temperature control, and they call it the 4 seasons. And this thumb wheel here turns what they call a cable and a Bowden tube for the temperature, and it's not moving, so I need to take that apart and see what it is. There's your power windows there. This does not lift up. It's just it's just an arm rest or an elbow rest, and it does not have a glove box there. It does have a glove box, but it's not there. That's called a map holder. The glove box is back here. All right. And let me show you. Press down the button, pull up, and there it is. They call that the glove box. And that's where you also store your jack and the jack handle, the lug combination jack handle and lug nut wrench. And there's jacking instructions that are supposed to go there. And I noticed the aftermarket providers carry those stickers, so I may replace them. All right, so that is your glove box. That is your big area back here in the back. And I'm glad to see that courtesy light working. It doesn't work on the driver's side, so I'll have to change that out. There's just enough room for the T-tops to lay back here to carry them around in case you get caught in the rain. Unfortunately, when they're back there, you can't get access to these compartments. This compartment is just a storage compartment, they say. It's smaller. All right. And see how small it is? I may put the paperwork and such in there. And you can see someone's run aftermarket speaker wires to it. And there's some kind of power cord for something there. I'll have to trace that out. All right. And here behind the driver's seat is your battery. How's that? It's like some fiberglass repairs been done from maybe leaking acid over the years. I'll pull that out and check it out more. But anyway, so that is the storage of this two-seating cruiser that doesn't have room for much anything else but your butt. It does have shoulder straps, that's good. All right, here's a better view of the console. And there's the information I was talking about right there. I can pull it back. There's that nightmare of a radio install somebody did that I'll be correcting that. And there's a vent and the knob by it. So this is pretty much the interior. Alright. Not a whole lot to it. But then again, I guess that's how it's designed. But anyway, that's a walk around I've just done on it today. Some of you AD guys, advanced design truck guys, you may have found that interesting because I didn't know none of this stuff. I didn't know all the intricacies that this the Corvette incorporates into it. And they just really went crazy with vacuum. I guess they didn't want cables and such doing stuff. You know, compared to the old trucks, you know, those things, the technology in them were easy, great to work on. Here we got something else. So anyway, like I say, the next 3 or 4 videos are going to be on me doing repair and other work to this, and I hope you stick around for that. And again, you know, there'll be some cruising videos on with the truck, and I'll be doing, if I have to do work, or let's say I decide I'm going to add a piece to it that I've been wanting to, I'll include that on it too. So anyway, stick around. You know, don't run off because it's a vet. Okay? So I hope everything's going good with you and yours. Going good here. Can't complain. And it wouldn't do me any good to complain anyway. AD guys, hang around. You know, might learn something, and who knows? It might turn you on to want something like that too. Vet guys, bear with me because I'm going to learn as I go. So anyway, have a good one, and I hope to see you around on the next one. See you.